Okay, so this is very much what I explained as being a sponsoring 101. So this will be great for all of our new consultants or people who are new to sponsoring to watch, because it is going to be kind of simplified, bare bones of sponsoring, because we can sort of overcomplicate things sometimes, and I don't want people to feel overwhelmed. It is not as complicated as it sounds like. But so I am using, and I will screen share this as we kind of go through, but Chloe, our SSD, created a climbing to a recruit image that's like a mountain, and it has steps going up it. We're going to focus heavily on the incline, so the process to that recruit, and then I'll briefly touch on the things after they have joined your team. We will do a separate training that is about specifically for coaching. So that will be the whole process of after they've joined, what you do and how you set them up for success. But today we're going to focus very heavily on the process to actually getting someone to join your team. So the first component of that mountain Chloe created is communication. And I'm going to screen share here for a second okay, I can't see any of you guys. So somebody give me a thumbs, like share your video and give me a thumbs up if you can see a stool. All right, we got it. Okay, we can see it. Okay, so this is Chloe's husband, Justin, created this a very, very, very long time ago because I have been trained on this since I started. But this is the 3 legs of success. The first one is sales. You have sales, sponsoring, and coaching. To build it big in this business and have a super successful business, you want to have a balance of these things. And this is something that I didn't do for the longest time. And when I started focusing on that balance, that is when I saw my business take off. So PRV sales is the number one. So I do want to start out this training by saying that if sponsoring is something you're interested in, absolutely watch this. But if your PRV isn't where it needs to be, I would not start focusing heavily on sponsoring yet. If you don't have 500 PRV or higher within the first or second week of the month, and I would really recommend the first week, especially as you get in those higher levels of leadership, then I would focus on PRV before you start building a team. PRV is going to be the most important leg because that's where the other ones feed off of. The larger your PRV, the larger your customer base, the larger your network. That means more potential recruits. Also, the more parties you're having, the more PRV you have and the more potential recruits you have, because a lot of times our recruits are hostesses because they have fallen in love with the product enough to have a party, and they kind of get the consultant experience of what you do by following alongside with you as you do their party. So those are very high potential consultants with our hostesses. So with this communication, you want to make sure you're building a relationship and establishing a rapport. Make sure there's a dream team list that I have put in our Cosmic Sense drive. I have multiple versions that I've used, but if you are wanting to build a team, that is something I recommend, keeping a running list of people that you think this business would be great for, and taking note of when you're talking to them about the business, because you don't want to talk to somebody and offer them to join, and then a week later offer it to them again. You don't want to beat people over the head with it. So having that intentional, natural relationship with them and keeping track of your conversations about the opportunity is going to be very, very key. The second climb on the mountain is sharing the opportunity, and that sounds basic, but it's true. I'm going to unshare this for a second. I'm going to show you guys what that mountain looks like. Where is it, Ryan?
It's in the other tab.
Oh, is getting on my nerves. Okay, well. Here we go. Okay, this is the image that I'm talking about, the mountain. And this is in our Cosmic Sense drive folder. So it's on our leadership folder and in our regular folder. But this is the steps that I'm kind of working through and then going in depth on what that looks like for me. The second half of this mountain, we'll do a coaching training for, but I will briefly touch on those. So I'm gonna stop sharing. There we go. Okay, so sharing the opportunity, you want to make sure you're being consistent about that. Maybe once a week would be a good standard for that. And it doesn't have to be I love this business, who wants to join me? It can be sharing something your team is doing and like how much joy it brings you. You want people to see how you're having fun in your job, because I hope all of you guys love what you're doing. I hope you're having fun with what you're doing. So if you're making samples and you're loving the scent, post a picture on your VIP page and talk about how much you love what you do. Take a picture of customer bags you put together and post it on your VIP page or your Instagram stories and talk about how much you love your customers and that this is just the best job. You love getting to build relationships with people and share these products. Show people the fun you're having and show them how Scentsy fits into your life, because we all have busy lives. We all have unique circumstances. Show them how it's fitting into your life and people will relate to that. Share how you're working your business. So like I said, showing when you're making samples, showing when you're sending out mail. That way they kind of see the behind the scenes of your job. That way it's not just product. They see you as a business, which is important for when you're wanting to sponsor. You also want to make sure that you are kit coaching people. So what this means is you're going to coach your potential recruit. You're going to set them up for success. This can look different for different people. You might have somebody who has a super busy schedule. They're remodeling her kitchen. She doesn't want to do a home party. So set that person up with a bag party. If somebody's kind of on the fence about joining, tell them like, here, I'm going to put a bag together for you and let you try it. I've put a wall fan diffuser in there, pack of pods, some catalogs, order forms, some testers. Take this to work with you, share it, see what it's like, collect the orders, and if you decide it's not for you, we're good. But if you really like it, we can potentially take this party and flip it to you and you can earn your kit with it. I mean, it's that easy. I mean, there's no commitment with that. Like if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. They don't want to do it. If they are an out of town host who is interested and kind of on the fence about joining, somebody who's not local to you, send them a little grab bag party with things that if they decide to join, you can let them keep. So just like a little zipper pouch with a couple felt samples of best-selling scents, a catalog, a couple order forms. You don't have to send a lot for them to collect orders. I mean, you guys know, because you're doing that process. You're collecting orders from your customers. You know, it doesn't take a ton of supplies to do that basic sales part of it. So that is a cool tool for sending to hostesses and saying, hey, you've collected X amount of orders. We can flip this. You keep that bag, use it for your business until your kit comes in. And that's just setting them up for success and making them feel like they've got this. People like to feel supported when they are making a big decision like that. Being intentional is the fourth step on that climb. Be transparent. So building those relationships with your customers. I have, especially during this time of social distancing, I have been checking in with my customers a lot, just personally, not like hey, did you like that bar? We're ordering tomorrow. Do you want to reorder? No, I've been very intentional on keeping that communication line open with people, messaging them and saying, hey, is your job at Roper Mountain starting back next month? Were you guys able to reopen? How was your first day back at work? I know you were anxious about it because you guys didn't have enough protective gear. So I have those conversations with my customers, and I'm bought into them as a person, and they are bought into me as a person. And that is one of the number one things with sponsoring. we've talked about with sales, they've got to know, like, and trust you. It's the same with sponsoring. They've got to know, like, and trust you. So that's one of the big things, no cold messaging. So somebody you've never sold product to, you've never talked to, you haven't seen them since freshman year in high school, don't message them and say, hey girl, do you want to join my Zenzi team? Like, we don't do that. There are a lot of companies that do that. We don't. You don't even want to use scripts. I know a lot of people will ask me, like, well, what do I say when I talk to people about joining? And I never have a great answer for that, because for me, I want it to come naturally in the conversation. Susanna, I tried to get her to join for like 2 years. And seriously, like, I would just randomly throw it in the conversation because we were having a conversation. She would be talking about how much she was addicted to this stuff, and she's got this huge pile of bars, and you've got me hooked on this. And I'm like, well, that's why you should join. I've been telling you. And you can make it into kind of like a joke, like being silly, showing your personality. And that makes it easier for, in my opinion, that makes it easier for people to say no. Like, I have had people tell me, like, girl, I admire your persistence, and like send a laughing emoji. Like, they think it's funny that I keep trying to talk them into it because they're so addicted to the wax, but then they end up joining. So planting those little seeds, being consistent, having those conversations that are personal and very intentional. It is a process, so that's the biggest thing you have to know. When you decide to start sponsoring, you might not see results right away. I did, but I had a big customer base already, because I did not start growing a team until way too late in my business. I should have started a month after I joined is what I should have done, because now I've seen the difference and the growth, but I didn't. But so I already had that customer base built up. I had already kind of unintentionally planted some seeds, but what you want to do is plant those seeds. So maybe you aren't ready to sponsor right now. They might not be ready to join right now, but you can still have those conversations. If they are ordering from you and they say, I'm so happy that you're doing well with your business, tell them, like, thank you. Like, I'm loving what I'm doing. This is a lot of fun. If it's ever something you're interested in, let me know and I'll get you some information. Like, just drop it into the conversation, because that's planting a seed. So if they don't answer, they still read it. If they say no, that's even better, because that means they sat and thought about it and cared enough to answer. And if they say not right now, you better be writing that down somewhere and following up with them. Because just because they say no, that doesn't mean no forever. It just means not right then. And when you have those conversations, it keeps them thinking about it. So then the next time they see your Facebook stories and you're sharing how you're working your business, they're thinking, oh, she asked me to join. That's what she's doing. That's how this fits into her life. I could do that. So then the next time you follow up with them, they might be a little more reluctant, what's the opposite of reluctant? A little more accepting, a little more likely to be like, yeah, let's go for it. So as you plant those seeds and as they see how it fits into your life and how you're working your business and how much fun you're having, you're going to break down those walls of hesitation, because usually that's the number one reason people don't join, is that they're scared. People are scared to fail. And that's why a lot of people don't start sponsoring either. People are scared to fail, but there's nothing to fail at. You literally, like, you just have to get okay with hearing no. Like, I could care less now. Once you get used to hearing no, it's fine. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Those people, and you have to stop caring what people think. If you're building genuine relationships with your customers and you're genuinely following up with them and, like, just invested in them as a person, not just a customer, as a person, it's not going to feel weird to have those conversations with them. And it's not going to feel weird when they say no, that they don't want to. So if you're doing things right, it shouldn't feel that bad to hear no, I promise. So when you have that conversation with people, the top tips for that, let them lead. Let them lead the conversation. Use short, open-ended questions. Don't information overload. Don't word vomit. If somebody says, I'm interested in being a consultant, can you tell me more information? Don't be like, yeah, girl, we make XXX PRV, and then when you promote to certified, then you'll make this much PRV, and then you can promote to this, and we get paid on the 10th of the month, and this and this. Don't start doing that, because then, I mean, people will shut down very quickly when they feel overwhelmed. So you want to let them lead. So when somebody says that to me, I'm interested in being a consultant, I say, that's awesome. I love what I do. What are some things that you're hesitant about? Or what are some questions that you have? I let them lead the conversation. So they'll ask me. They're not going to ask you 500 questions at one time. They're going to tell you the number one question on their mind. What do you get paid? So then I tell them the commissions. And they're like, oh, okay. I'm like, well, what else do you want to know? But usually they will keep those questions coming, and you keep answering them. I know that Amy, I don't know if Amy's on here, but she'll probably be watching the recording, but Amy is one of our new consultants, and that is kind of how our conversation went. She's very business minded. She owns her own business right now, so she knows the questions to ask, and most people do. You just got to let them lead so that you can give them the answers to what they want to know. They don't want to know everything. I promise. They'll learn it. It's a lot to learn. We all know that. So don't try to learn them everything at one time. Slow down. And then the last biggest thing for having that conversation, I think this is huge for all of you. I'm going to spend the most time kind of talking about this. You have to shake the fear. You have to shake it off. The whole mindset of I can't sponsor, I can't recruit, I can't grow a team, I can't have those conversations. Whatever you say you can't do, positive psychology has proven to us that that is going to be the truth. If you say you can, you probably are going to, because you have put that idea in your mind, you're being positive about it, and you're going for it. So just stop telling yourself you can't do things and just try. Get comfortable hearing no. We've already talked about that. That's a big part of shaking that fear. Everybody seems to be so scared of hearing no, and I don't know why. Because when it comes down to it, they're not paying your bills. Like, we shouldn't care about what other people think about us running our businesses. This is something that we want. This is something that we are working hard towards, and is our paychecks. So we just got to do our thing and not worry about what they think. But the last thing, and I know this was a lot of you guys' concern, if you want to build it big with your business, you have to recruit your best customers. So let's say it again. You have to recruit your best customers. You can't be afraid of losing sales by helping somebody grow their business. Number one, it's not about you. When you're inviting someone to join this business and you're offering that opportunity to them, it's for them. Yeah, it's for them. It's not for you. Because if they are interested and want to join, they might go join somebody else. So if I wasn't asking Susanna to join for 2 years, there are lots of people in Easley who are Scentsy consultants. Somebody else might have eventually asked her, and she was like, yeah, sure, I want to try that. I buy their products all the time. But because I was following up with her, and it wasn't about me, I knew she loved the products. I knew she had a ton of friends and family that buy them. And I had a gut feeling, and my gut feelings are usually right, that she was going to be really, really good at it. So your best customers should be your number one on your dream team list. I know that seems scary, but I promise, like,
For the record, I didn't want to recruit Susanna.
Yeah, Ryan thought I was an absolute idiot trying to recruit Susanna. Because he and Susanna work at the same hospital. So she said, whatever, Ryan. I literally can remember these conversations like they were yesterday. He would look at me and say, why are you going to do that? Why are you wanting to sponsor her so bad? Like, she's going to take all our hospital customers. And I'm like, Ryan, they're her customers anyway. Like, the people that your best customers bring to you when they host with you and they bring those customers to you, they're theirs anyway. So if they join, that's rightfully their business. So the part of your PRV that you extend to them, grow your network, and you're going to build it there. But I can promise you, we're going to upload this training on YouTube. So there are certain things compliance-wise I can't say, or people will turn us in because people are haters. But if you would like to see, I can personally have this conversation with you guys, or I can post it on the team page when we get paid on the 10th of this month. If you would like to see the difference between my pay, same PRV, my pay when I did not have a team versus when I did, it would absolutely blow your mind. If you have big, scary goals with this business, if you have dreams for making this business into something that changes your family's path, maybe it's just paying off debt, maybe it's paying your mortgage every month, maybe you want to replace your current income and work from home. I don't know what your personal goals are. I know what some of your personal goals are, but I promise building a team is where you're going to see that growth.
Maybe we can post Chloe's as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Chloe on the public videos has said before that she makes a lot.
I think it was January that I have her screenshot.
Yeah, so and I have some charts to show things like that too, but we can share that information with you guys. But the difference is just unbelievable. So you, with a customer that orders from you a lot, you're going to get paid off of their purchase every month, maybe every 2 months, depending on how often they order. But a consultant on your team who's also growing their team, that is going to make the biggest impact on your business. I can promise you, your best customers will make the best consultants. And if they don't, they're still going to be your best customer. I have recruited a couple of my best customers who ended up not really digging being a consultant. They didn't put much into growing a business. They're still ordering from me. There are people who are on our list, like technically are still consultants on our team, and they're not active, but they're like, right. They're on our team list who buy from me. They buy our mystery bags. They order with me because they joined and then they decided it wasn't for them, and that's okay. So what that means is your best customers are either going to still be your best customers or they're going to be your best team members. What's there to lose with that? Nothing at all. Anyways. Okay, so that is the climbing the mountain to getting somebody on your team. I'm going to quickly go through kind of what happens after that, but we'll do a separate training that's on coaching for that. But so once they've joined, you want to make sure you're adding them to our team page and welcoming them. Most people who join this business are looking for some sort of community. They've seen you work in your business. They've seen you working with your team. They've seen you interacting with other consultants. And people want to feel a part of something. That's important. I mean, that's a human quality. So adding them to the team page, shouting them out. When you see people shout people out who they've added to the page, welcome them, give them your best tips, be excited for them. That is one of the best feelings, is when you have finally like gotten up the guts to just do it and join and start your business and do something scary. For everybody to be like so happy that you're there, that's so key. So yes, the instant community, that's our culture on our team. So when somebody adds somebody, you talk to them, be friendly. And then you got to do your first things first with them. So the first things first checklist, they will get an email about that. Don't leave it up to the email. Not everybody checks their email, and they need to hear from you. You're their sponsor. Tell them about the first things first checklist on their workstation and how if they go through that, it's going to give them links to some videos. It'll help prompt them through some of the basics. And then tell them when they're done with that first things first checklist to let you know. You want them to be able to move at their own pace with that. And then you want to help get them on the next step. and we'll talk about that in our coaching. But you want to kind of help set them up for success by encouraging them to announce their business on Facebook or so whatever social media platform they're on, helping them schedule their launch party. These people are brand new. They might not even know how to make a Facebook group. So add them to one of your recent parties you've had so they can see how you do things. If you don't have a lot of Facebook parties, if home parties are your thing, post on the team page and say, does anybody have an open online party that my new recruit can join? She really wants to see how they're ran. Does anybody have a bingo party going on right now that my new consultant can watch? Utilize the team, because what might be your thing might not be mine. So we can work as a community to help these new people find what works for them and see it in action. Because it is very comforting. My online parties don't look anything like they did when I first started. But when I first started, I did use how somebody else did their parties to kind of ease into it and learn the ropes. And then I started changing it and morphing it into something that was mine, that fit my personality and have my own touches and spin on it. So we want to try to give these new people something to grow off of. We got to get them started somewhere. We want to make sure that they understand how to earn Shooting Star, how to get certified, and you want to try to get that right away. That is so important. You don't want to sit on that 5% pay difference for long. And then you want to encourage them throughout their first 70 days to get those sensational start levels. Those first 70 days are big. And statistics show that the people that earn those sensational start levels are the ones that rock out their businesses. So you want to help set them up for that success. And if you're currently earning those levels, you've already set yourself up for success. So get ready for it.
What is an inventory? Is that 14?
In inventory. Yeah.
So if you get 14 certified in a year, you get a $1,000 bonus check every year.
I'll talk a lot about that in our coaching, because
just a little.
Those of you that are brand new to sponsoring and have never sponsored before or new to the business in general, I don't want to completely overwhelm you. I promise, when you first start out growing a team, those of us who have been sponsoring and who are leaders, we're going to support you. If you have a new sponsor, I am going to work with you on, are you coaching them? Are they getting what they need? I reached out to, I'm pointing like you guys can see whose name I'm pointing at. I reached out to Rachel the other day and said, hey, I would like to do a coaching call with one of your consultants. I know you guys joined kind of around the same time, but I just want to make sure that's okay with you. So we all support one another. And if I see somebody who's brand new, who's sponsoring and they're doing everything they can to help coach their people, I'm going to help you coach your people. We're all in this together, seriously. And you don't need to feel like you have to know all the answers. It's actually better if you don't know all the answers, because that helps you teach them how to fish instead of just giving them answers. So telling them how you would find that answer. So if they say, hey, what is the reinstatement kit? You can say, I'm not sure. Did you search for it on the workstation? And if they say yes and they can't find it, did you search on the team page? And they can't find it, then say, all right, well, why don't you post that question on the team page and let's see if somebody else can help us out. But usually everything's accessible on that workstation, but you don't have to know all the answers. You really don't. You guys can learn that stuff together. And if they ask you a question that you feel like you want to know what you're talking about when you talk to them about that, talk to your upline. So if you've sponsored somebody and I'm your sponsor, come to me and say, hey, she just asked me this question. What do I need to tell her to help her out with that problem? I know a lot of you guys do that. You'll come to me with questions about coaching, about helping your people. And I love to help you do that, because that means you're growing as a leader and you're wanting to learn how to grow as a leader. Yes, Paige said you're struggling. Don't let it get you down. And seriously, like, once it's kind of like, that first time you go live and you're like cringy and you hate looking at yourself and you hate hearing yourself and you're nervous and you feel like you're going to throw up. And then it gets easier every time you do it until it becomes like nothing. That's kind of how sponsoring is. Like the first time you do it, it's brand new to you. So you are kind of scared and you feel like you're not doing it right. But then once you make it a lifestyle and you're consistently doing that and you're consistently sharing your business, you're going to get really comfortable with it. And it's not going to feel like the end of the world. But I promise, if you follow these guidelines and these notes, the outline that I used for going through my top tips for this, for getting to that point of sponsoring someone, I'm going to put this in our Google Drive. That way you guys have access to it and you can look through it and just make sure you're doing these things, and it's going to come naturally. But I promise, especially, I said PRV, that first leg of success is the most important. If your PRV is currently 1,000 or higher for the month, you should be growing a team. Your PRV is high. It's high. And that's good. And that means that you need to be taking that big network you have and starting to grow a team, because that's where you're going to see your paychecks explode. And I promise, like, once you see that first paycheck as a leader, you're going to be like, whoa, this is a whole different ball game. And once you see those people you sponsored start promoting and getting excited about their own businesses and learning, and then they're sponsoring, you're going to be so on fire for your business. It's going to be, you're going to forget why you were ever afraid of sponsoring. Seeing that success in other people and seeing your own growth of your team, it will be the fuel to the fire that you need. So you just have to take those first steps. So those first steps are going to be hard, but once you get there, you're going to love it. So you just kind of have to trust us on that one. But if you are trying to grow a team, I know I've reached out to several people who have promoted this past month, but if you're trying to grow a team and your PRV last month was 500 or higher, reach out to your sponsor to do a coaching call. If I'm your sponsor, reach out to me to do a coaching call for this month. And us or your sponsor will get that squared away for you, and can help you through that process. But because you don't have to do that alone. I mean, even some of our top leaders in our group, I'm working with them every day. And I'm celebrating those little successes with them every day and rooting for them along the way and answering any questions they have. You're not doing this alone. So I will upload this. We'll get this training put on the team page from our YouTube. So if you have new team members or team members who don't have a team and have expressed curiosity in growing a team or fear of growing a team, tag them when we post that video. That way they have access to this. This is a pretty short training. It's very to the point. We'll do additional trainings on actually coaching that team once you build it. But for these new people and people who are new to sponsoring, like, this is the basics. This is all you need to know. Yeah. This is all that you need to know when you're first starting out with sponsoring and growing your team. Because honestly, the shaking the fear is the most important part.
Change your mindset.
Yeah.
As soon as you start looking at it like you're actually trying to bless these people, not you're trying to grow your team. It's all about having the right frame of mind. If they tell you no, it is what it is.
Yes.
But that's not no forever. That's no for now.
All right. Well, we'll get this uploaded.
I'll upload it in just a minute.
Tonight. We'll get it uploaded tonight. So tag your team in the comments when we get it put up. And just let us know if you have any questions. And again, if you feel like you're ready for this and you need some support, get a coaching call scheduled with your upline, whether that's me or whether that's somebody else. Seriously. Y'all have a good night.